How about the Buffalo Bills? They have won a playoff game. Very cool to see. I thought this game was great. They beat the Colts. They beat the refs a little bit there, too, at the end. It came down to the wire. Fun game. I'm going to talk about really just Josh Allen and how he was able to put them in a spot to win this game. I know there was all the craziness at the end, but really, I think Josh Allen was the biggest story. What he was able to do against this defense that matches up perfectly against the Bills' offense, and still he was able to put up 27. Just an incredible day. He was really good, and he had some big plays, and so I give him a lot of credit. And so, yeah, let's just get into the film study. So this play, I thought, was the first real big play that went in the Bills' favor and kind of made you go, uh-oh, this could be, could be how they could get some big plays against Indianapolis, where it's a pretty simple idea, but what they're going to do is they're going up against cover 2 zone, which is something I talked about before, about it being a big deal for Buffalo to go up against. This is kind of the coverage that has given them a little bit of trouble so far in this season. But there is a way to beat it, and they're implementing that way to beat it, where they're going to have a tight end sort of run just far enough to try to get the safety to crash in a little bit and come towards him. That's going towards Josh Allen's right, which is towards the bottom of the screen. And then they have Diggs running over in the middle. And the goal is there's already going to be a very small window there, but it's usually very small and kind of a risky throw to make. But if you can get a safety out of position, it makes that window bigger. So that's what they're trying to do here. Allen takes the snap. He is going to eventually make this throw, and look at how it worked out. The safety did get a bit out of position. Nothing crazy. Like, this still is a difficult throw to make. It looks like Diggs is wide open, and he's currently wide open, but he's about to take a shot from a safety. So Allen wants to get it there quickly so Diggs can, A, protect himself, and B, make sure he holds on to the catch. Diggs is able to hold on. Just a great play, and it's hard to get those types of plays against Indianapolis. They don't bite on those types of fakes too often, but they got him to bite on one there, so good job by them. There was also this goal line play, which it was just fantastic. I actually think this might have been a bit intentional. So if you missed it, it's a cover 3 zone that Indianapolis is in. It's a goal line scenario, though, so obviously they're expecting a running play. They think a running play could happen. It's going to end up being it looks like it's going to be a quarterback running play, but I've also circled the tight end who's furthest to Josh Allen's right, closest to the bottom of the screen, because he is the guy who's going to eventually get open here. But watch what he does. Watch how he pretty much, it looked like maybe this was a cross-up, maybe this was an intentional thing, and there was this option on this play. I actually do think there was a passing option. I mean, if you look over to the left, it looks like the receivers to Allen's left also ran routes. So I think Allen, there was probably just an option to throw it or an option to run it. The commentator said this wasn't supposed to happen at all. I think that Allen at a certain point said, I'm running it, but I do think this was intentional. It looks intentional, but I guess who knows? Obviously, I'm not in the huddle, so I don't know exactly what the play call is. So, I pretty much have to just speculate here. It's obviously a lot easier to know for a fact, a couple days later or after a press conference. But anyways, as you see, Allen realizes it's not working, but realizes he has a tight end open. And part of the reason that worked so well is because the defensive back who was closest to Dawson Knox passed him off because he knew that he had another defensive back further deep. But the issue is that player was coming in to try and stop a Josh Allen run, which is what allowed Knox to get open. So it was just a good all-around play for Buffalo. This play was part of just, one of the biggest drives of the game, maybe the biggest drive the Buffalo Bills have had in a couple decades. I mean, this is an incredible drive where they had to go 96, 97 yards, and this was a big play in it. It's, again, that cover 2 zone, and you see that this route, this is Gabriel Davis's route, it's going to take a long time to develop. It's not even really supposed to go all the way towards the sideline to Allen's left, but it just would if enough time passes. And that's the thing about zone coverage. It's really good immediately. It sort of starts to break down the longer it goes on whereas, in man, it can be a little bit easier to keep guys covered for a longer period of time because you're never going to forget who's supposed to cover who. So you need to get pressure pretty quickly. The issue is just that Josh Allen and his offensive line give him just all the time in the world to make these plays. Watch how Allen takes the snap, and there even is a couple guys winning their matchup. Buckner tries for a spin move to the inside, though, and now Allen says, okay, great, I can just run through that gap. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, so Buckner made a mistake. He should have continued going to his right. But if he did that, then Allen would have just ran to his left. So, like, he's so good at getting outside the pocket. It's ridiculous. And it's unfair. It's just unfair because he can throw so well. It's not fair that he can also move outside the pocket so well. Allen does get outside the pocket, and then he's going to eventually hit Davis, who was in that little soft spot that I brought up earlier. And that's just kind of how things can work, where for most of that play, nobody was open, but you only need to have someone open when you're throwing the football, and Allen can wait a long time to allow someone to get open. And then there was this play that this was at the end of the first half, which, again, same drive, but a really great way to cap it off. Allen's running ability is huge, and this is going to be an option play where he could hand the ball off or he could take it himself and run to his right. And it's the Indianapolis player who I've circled. He's the key guy here. So if he stays to the outside and is aware of a potential Josh Allen run, then Allen, just hand the ball off. You've taken someone out of the play because now he can't get into the play and they're not blocking him. So then you just get a slight numbers advantage. And if he runs too far to the inside, then Allen keeps it himself and gets to the outside and could score a touchdown. So when Allen takes the snap, you notice that he does take a couple steps to the inside. Nothing massive, but this is enough. This is enough for Allen. He's fast enough that he's going to be able to take advantage of this. As you see, it was a good fake too, good well-ran job by them, and he's going to get a touchdown out of that just because of that one little step. So that's what makes Allen just such a difficult force to deal with. Is not only does he have this big arm and an accurate arm, but he can move. And all of that came into play against a really good defense. That was a horrible matchup for him. This one at the time felt like a dagger. It didn't quite work out that way with a Colts score immediately after, but at the time it felt like a dagger, and obviously it helped them eventually win the football game. This was one of the few times you saw Indianapolis play man with one safety deep, which is something that I said do almost never. They did it almost never, but they did it this time, and it burned them. They're going to try and blitz right here. I think they're trying to push Josh Allen out of field goal range because they're down 7 points. I get the logic behind it, but I still would have rather them not do something like this. But if you are, you have to double Diggs. I mean, that's the guy you have to pay attention to. He's running a go route. He's not getting doubled. There's a safety, but he's not really going to double him. Allen takes the snap. You see the pressure comes, but Buffalo picks it up well, and Diggs is able to make the grab. I'm going to show the other angle now because I think that this angle will really show what I'm talking about with the safety not covering Diggs. You notice that, for one thing, the player who's covering Diggs, he's not doing a great job here, quite frankly. He needs to be further deep. He can't be getting beat deep like that. But Indianapolis had an aggressive mindset. They felt like they were in a worse position than I think they really were, because down 7 points with 14 minutes left, plenty of time left. If you give up a field goal, that's still way better than giving up a touchdown. So for the safety, get over and cover Diggs. That's what you have to do. I just think that's inexcusable, quite frankly. But on the flip side, it was an incredible speed from Diggs and a perfect throw from Josh Allen. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just, there's a great throw and catch. And the reality is, with Buffalo, Indianapolis made barely any mistakes. But when they made a mistake, Buffalo took advantage. They really did.